What's going on, guys? It's the Well What Do You Think crew. We're back for a new video. It's me, Omid.
How's it going, guys? It's me, Amir.
We got the crew back, and today we're doing another book discussion. And today's one is a personal favorite of mine, one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. It is Hulk, Marvel's Future Imperfect. And we want to go and show the cover of the book, let people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so
'Cause,
Omi just let me borrow his book. It's the first two issues. This is like a collected reads trade paperback of Hulk: The End, but it includes the first part of it is the two issues, which is Future Imperfect, which is a story written by Peter David and illustrated by George Perez. And I've never read it before. Omid has constantly been telling me about how much he loves this. Hulk is one of his favorite Marvel characters. So I was happy that he gave me the opportunity to read this and check it out. Because do we want to kind of go into what this is about? It's a
so
big Hulk story. I feel like it has to be
it's
one of the
on.
most iconic.
Yeah, I think for those who are comic book readers, this is like an essential, especially the Hulk story, because it is essentially the introduction of the Maestro. And for those of you who don't know, this is a story where Bruce Banner goes into the future, and in this apocalyptic world, there is this crazy ruler that rules with a iron fist named the Maestro. And throughout the entire story, Bruce is really curious because like, who is this Maestro? Who is this Maestro? People are frightened of him. All the civilians are scared of this dictator, and as we find out, it's actually Hulk from the future. So it becomes a present-day Hulk fighting a future dictator, totalitarian Hulk, and it is an awesome, awesome story because it's
This
actually
is what
only
he
two
looks like. If
issues.
if you guys have never seen the Maestro before,
Yeah,
so he's like old man, bald, buff Hulk.
yeah. So uh, it is what were we just saying? It was past and present. So
Yeah.
um, what is so cool about this story because it is like a very, I mean, it's a two-issue story that is really deep, and I think it is essentially Professor Hulk in this, right? Because Bruce and Hulk are on good terms in this story.
I don't know if it's necessarily about Bruce and Hulk being on good terms, because I don't know if they
Because
really went
Hulk can
into
speak
too much. But Hulk
totally.
can speak. Hulk is not savage, which I thought was
Yeah.
really interesting at the beginning. And there were some really cool moments, because I mean, it kind of connects back to like how we're always making videos on the MCU, and we're like in the multiverse saga. This is essentially a variant of Hulk. Like this is the MCU versions of a variant where you have two concurrent versions. And there was one really cool moment because like how Omi's mentioning, it's Bruce is kind of coming into the future because these kind
They
of
bring
homeless
him to
rebel
the future.
fighters. The rebels bring him into the future because they're like, oh, you're our only hope. Essentially, like Star Wars, like, oh, we need you to stop this dictator. And what's so interesting is when you see Bruce or Hulk walking through the streets, everyone is fearing him, and he's like, oh, uh, I just see this sense of like eyes are constantly on me, and I feel both senses of respect and fear. He's like, I'm used to and I'm always expecting to be feared. I have never felt this sense of respect coming from
Hmm.
people. So
Hmm.
it's just so
Hmm.
interesting is because he doesn't at this time know who the Maestro is, and you just see everyone kind of talking about this dictator and this world. Um, from my understanding of it, is it's like 100 years in the future, and we have escalated past World War III in this timeline. So Maestro is mentioning how um, the worst thing that kind of happened to humanity has been humans, and people have
Hmm.
constantly been calling him a monster. And he's like, I never realized I was never on their tier or on their level. He's like, I couldn't have done half the shit that they did. They literally nuked this planet into oblivion. And he mentions, I think this is what he says word for word. I've always been the person who's been at the right place at the right time, regardless if it was him as David or Robert
Bruce
Bruce
Banner
Banner
in the
saving
beginning
Rick
with the
Jones.
nuclear bomb or the gamma bomb testing site, and where he is now as he is on top because Ambrose asked me, "Oh, why did I want to read this story?" And this whole collection of Future Imperfect and the End is a great um, message on how all of humanity in the Marvel universe keeps saying Hulk is the monster, Bruce is the monster, Bruce is this terrible being, but both times it is actually showing that just humanity themselves are truly the worst thing to ever happen to Earth. And in some sort of sick way, I think Maestro, especially in the end, they mention that he has some type of satisfaction seeing the world go to shit and go into this apocalypse because he's like, I was never as bad as you guys always thought I was. You guys were the problem. You guys were the
Yes.
monster, and that is why he's ruling this world with an iron fist because it's in a way to punish mankind. Because like, if look what happened when I wasn't leading, you guys almost destroyed the entire planet and our species as a whole were almost gone extinct. So he becomes a ruler,
And
and I
he mentions
really
how he benefited off of that too, because the whole thing is
I made him
he was,
stronger.
I think, underground when the nuclear fallout had occurred. So he was
Mm-hmm.
saying, you guys destroyed the planet, and the remnants of radiation on the surface has only made me stronger with age. And also, I think the other main character in this
Rick Jones.
story is Rick Jones's great granddaughter, who her name is Janice, and
Mm-hmm.
she was mentioning how Maestro has gotten stronger with age and time, especially radiation, but particularly he has gotten mad.
Smarter. Oh.
No, so he's been smarter, but they're like, oh, he kind of was driven crazy because of the radiation. It's like, oh, he's been
So roid
poisoned.
rage commentary.
Exactly. It's like roid rage, and it's just so cool to see that even though it's a one-off, like it's incredibly dense for 2 issues, and there's so
Yeah,
much world building. Where I was telling Omid earlier, I'm like, this would be perfect for
for
a
a movie.
movie, a
I
Hulk
agree.
solo movie. It literally would be their version of like Logan if they wanted to
Mm-hmm.
give Hulk his own one-off that is introspective, epic, dark, gritty, and just like only saying like so sci-fi-y that it would be awesome for the Marvel universe. But it's just so cool because like you're seeing a mirror brought up in front of Bruce, where in the first issue, once Maestro and Hulk kind of go to town, they are having like an epic like clobber fest. There's having this slug boxing match, and Maestro eventually knocks the shit out of Bruce, and he's like has a broken neck, his back is broken, but he wasn't
Oh, yeah,
killed.
he breaks his spine and it's like he's out for like a few days.
Yes. And the whole thing is the minister, who's the right hand man to Maestro, is like, why didn't you just kill him? He's like, Maestro was essentially saying, like, oh, because what I have, what I'm going to be doing to him, I'm going to kill him with kindness, and I'm going to kill him slowly this way. And essentially, like, he's pleasuring him with his concubines, and
Concubines, yeah.
he's essentially torturing him. He's like, oh, because he's paralyzed, he has no control. And since I'm Bruce, I know that's the greatest thing that Bruce has ever feared was losing control,
Mm-hmm.
feeling powerless. So that was incredible. And the second issue, even though there's not as much action as the first, it really is this discussion on like, will Bruce become Maestro? Is this inevitable? Which I think is so interesting. Where um, Bruce almost tries to kill himself. Like he's like, oh, if I shoot myself in the head, you won't exist, and I
Time
will be free.
paradox.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna free everyone in this universe because if I die now, you'll never exist. And the Maestro was like, man, you are such an idiot. He's like, was I this stupid 100 years ago? He's like, if you followed Reed Richards' work, then you would understand that this is causing a parallel or like an alternate dimension or alternate timeline.
So
So
you
now
cannot
you,
retroactively affect the past anymore,
yeah,
right?
she's like, oh, you essentially, he said, your allies, your teammates essentially saved me by bringing you into the future because now they couldn't have went into the past to kill me. They
Yeah.
created this paradox, so now I'm like essentially unkillable, which I thought was just
Untouchable.
so great, and I just like the idea that Maestro is talking to him like, I've been through this, I know the worst of humanity, and Bruce was like, "Oh, it'll be different if we're in an alternate timeline. Then maybe what you experienced, I won't experience." And Maestro says something along the lines of, "Fear, prejudice, and bias are things that never change." So he's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, you will always be hated. You will always be used as a weapon, and you will always be feared." So I just thought it was such a really cool philosophical debate of Bruce and Bruce.
I
But
agree.
yeah, let me ask you, why did you seek out to read this for the first time when you did? Because I mean, you look at the cover, it looks gross and
Disgusting.
disgusting, and it's like, it's not World War Hulk, it's not Planet Hulk. Why did you seek out this one?
I see that one because I think, as a lot of the people on this channel know, I'm kind of sick of Hulk just boxing, and even in the movies, he didn't even really get a box. He just gets his ass whooped. But I think everyone, when they think of Hulk at the very surface level, is he is a dumb monster that just fights. And I was like, you know what? I want the deepest. Like I literally typed in Hulk status stories, and Future Imperfect came up, Hulk the End came up, and Immortal Hulk came up. I think Immortal Hulk was number one. This is number 2. This is number 3.
And you bought all three.
I bought all three of them. The next one will
Yeah.
be World War Hulk.
You
But
sadistic fuck.
Yeah, that's why I love Bruce and Hulk so much because they're just such a deep character that not many people like think about. Like I was telling some of my friends at school, I'm like, I know I sound stupid when I say, "Oh, my favorite character, one of my favorite characters in comic book in writing is the Hulk," and I'm like, it sounds so stupid. I'm like, this is so deep. It's such a good story. My friend's like, "Oh, what is the book called?" And I'm like, "It's called Hulk: The End." And they're like, "Oh,
No, no,
the
you
Hulk,
say the end. It's like,
the
oh,
end."
interesting, and then
Yeah,
because
yeah. They're like,
you're
"Oh,
embarrassed.
yeah." They're not gonna tell them it's the Hulk. But yeah, I was very happy with the story because I think you mentioned Peter David is a Star Trek writer.
Yeah, so in the forward, or I guess forward is before, right?
Yeah,
So I
I
guess
guess
the
the
afterword of it,
after.
the afterword. They had this little interview of George Perez, who he was saying it's actually very rare for an artist to kind of reach out to a writer to have this story kind of get started. But George Perez's wife said, "Hey, there's this really incredible writer that I've been following who he's been doing incredible Star Trek novels. Maybe you can reach out to him and see if he would be interested in working on Marvel." And
Uh-huh.
it just makes perfect sense. You know, it has to do with time travel, and it's so sci-fi that I'm like, that's so cool that they were able to get an established writer from Star Trek to kind of take a stab at Marvel with such an established character, and just go for such a big and bold swing with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Because I think now I want to get to the meat of it. What do you think of the ending? Because what do you think of how Hulk stops the Maestro? Did that work for you? Did that ending work for you?
so that's what I wanted to ask you because when I was reading, I'm like, man, he's just unstoppable. Like he's beating the shit out of Bruce, and he keeps saying everything that you've ever thought of, I've done. He's like, literally, he's like, they should have sent either Doctor Doom, the Thor, or even Mister Fantastic. He's like, oh, they would have had a better chance to stop me. But he's like, since they sent you, it's literally a worse version of me, so you have no chance. So when I was reading, I'm
So
like,
you're saying how did he not know Plan C?
no, not that. Like, when I was reading, I'm like, man, he really feels unstoppable. I'm like, Maestro, I have no idea how you stop him. Like, I don't know how you do it. So I forgot that they mentioned the time machine, Doctor Doom's time machine, at the beginning of the book. And essentially, what Bruce does is he teleports Maestro to the past, but not just the past. He sends him to the
Ground
nuclear
Zero.
test site, Ground Zero, which is exactly what the Maestro was saying earlier, where he's like, oh, if I was at Ground Zero of the nuclear testing facility, or even during World War III, and they dropped the bombs, I would have never stood a chance. But he's like,
Uh-huh.
because it was all leftover radiation, I survived. But so they essentially transport him to the moment Bruce becomes Hulk for the first time,
They
and you
drop him at the
see
inception of Hulk. Yeah.
exactly, and you see essentially the birth of Hulk and the death of Maestro at the same time, which I think visually it was incredible. But I can't deny that when I read it, I'm like, I didn't understand why he couldn't survive it. Like,
Why?
why couldn't he survive it? He's all gamma. How did he
Well,
survive it the
I
first
think
time,
it's
but not the
like,
second time?
well, didn't they say he wasn't he underground during the? Oh, you're saying how Bruce
Bruce.
survived? Well, Bruce was millions and millions of miles away.
I thought Bruce, but they sent Maestro right next to where Bruce was.
No, they sent Maestro right next to the bomb. So when Maestro's next to the bomb, he's looking off in the distance. He's like, I see this guy in a coat and in a jeep talking to a kid. I don't know what that is. And then I think in the speaker, it's like, oh, or Bruce is like, oh, we got to get away from the bomb. And then Maestro's like, what bomb? And he turns around. He's right next to the bomb.
And they make it look like Rick Jones is next to the bomb too.
No, no, no. So, uh, the, so we're looking. Hulk is looking into the distance, and the distance is Bruce and Rick Jones, and
So
they're
it's supposed to be
miles.
very far away.
Correct. Those are
Okay.
miles away.
Okay. But just look at these visuals. George Perez, man, like this is incredible splash art right here. You just see the
It's like
great
a flip.
parallel.
I like it. It's like, oh, you're seeing Bruce on the left side, uh, smaller, and then he goes into his face, and then my show start with his face, and then getting disintegrated into the skeleton. Beautiful stuff. I really love the
No,
ending. I think
it's great.
it's an
So
awesome way to kind of bookend the two by the inception of one Hulk and the death of another.
so I guess then if he was right at the ground zero and the original Bruce wasn't, then I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought they were right next to each other, but so he was right where the inception of the bomb
He
happened.
was right next to the bomb, and then Bruce and Rick Jones are like miles away, and that's when Bruce pushes Rick Jones into like a
The ditch.
trench and then covers him to get hit by all the gamma.
That was epic. I'm like, uh, now that you're mentioning it, I love that you couldn't stop him with brute force essentially. Like you had to outsmart him. So I thought that was really cool. Where Bruce is like, this is where we try Plan C now.
Yeah.
So he teleports him away. I just thought it was like they truly made Maestro despicable. Where because you were telling me how much you liked the character, and I was like, oh, he's really cool. He's probably like the Maker. You know, he's just an evil version who's misunderstood, but like he's still badass.
Yeah.
But when I was reading it, I'm like, sometimes I was getting disgusted by the Maestro. Where there was one moment where he was talking about when he was sending one of his concubines to Bruce. He's like, oh, um, she looks just like Betty. Do you remember Betty? He's like, oh yeah, but she's nothing like Betty. She doesn't talk. She has no personality. And Maestro essentially says, oh, that was what I always hated about Betty. He's like,
Her
when I first
talking.
met her, she was like fangirling over me, and she never had her own opinion. She did everything that I wanted. He's like, as we got to know each other more and more, she kept becoming more needy and telling me about her feelings. And he's like, I hated that she kept essentially being her own person. So I thought it was a really cool kind of comparison where Bruce is like, this is not the mind, like the mind of Betty is who I fell in love with, the strong spirit, the independent person, versus Maestro is like, oh, I always hated that about her. And he's like, with time, you'll realize that you're just like me and you don't want women to have any sentience. They're only here to
Yeah.
pleasure us. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
you are despicable. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, I think what was so great about the Maestro is because when you see Bruce as a character, it's like, all right, you always think he's kind of like this soft-spoken, nerdy character, but like with Maestro, once you have the intelligence of Bruce with the strength of Hulk melded into one, you can kind of see how that can go to your head, and he becomes uh
A
truly
god.
cold-hearted, not caring about feelings or anything, because he already is smarter than almost everyone on the planet, stronger than everyone on the planet, so he sees everyone as insects. I can't
He
remember if
even
there were
says that. He's like,
scenes of
oh,
him.
he says, remember, Bruce, we owe the humans nothing. He says they are constantly taking. We
Mhm.
are above them. We owe them nothing.
Yeah,
So you're right, exactly right. It's like he is like we've ascended to a certain point where it's like, why are we considering them at all? He's like they're
yeah.
below us. They're insects, like you said.
It's truly great story. And now because we were mentioning off camera, I know there's a Maestro run that happened after this, which I'm guessing is kind of showing the origin of how that a Bruce turns into the Maestro in that timeline, which to me is super super interesting, and I'm really curious to read it at some point.
Yeah, because I mean, in 2 issues, I feel like I understood the exact like motivation, the inner workings of Maestro. I'm like, he's such a fully fledged character. Where, like Peter David did an incredible job, incredible art by George Perez. I'm like, in 2 issues, they were able to make this whole world where I'm like, this is ripe for a movie. It's like I need this to be adapted. I don't know
Yes.
who has the movie rights for it, but like I feel like this is perfect because this is the exact same thing that I feel like you would want from Mark Ruffalo. It lets him actually act, and
Or Edward
unless they
Norton.
do Edward Norton,
I would
which
love this for Edward Norton because I think, as we've seen before, Edward Norton is just such a good character actor, and he is. I mean, he takes the craft so seriously, and I think he could really eat this up, and I could see him being like a true piece of shit as Maestro. I would love to see
that
that.
would be incredible. 'Cause, I mean, it brings back the nostalgia fan casting, but I'm like, yeah, like you said, Edward Norton is such a good actor. That would be epic
I
if they
agree.
could get this to happen. Like, we just need him to, like you said, he's more than just a boxing character,
Yeah, because I know he's supposed to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I'm like,
and
dude,
he's gonna be
like,
Savage Hulk again. They say.
yeah, they just want. It's like I don't think they know what people actually want because like we're complaining about the like I mean Marvel movies haven't really been doing well, and now they're like, all right, for our next Spider movie we're gonna throw so many characters into it. I'm like, people for Spider-Man want a Spider-Man movie and focusing on mainly Spider-Man. We're not getting that. Hulk people want a Hulk movie. We're not getting that. It's like
Yeah.
I I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm really happy you read this story. I know the next one you're gonna read is the end. So I thought if you
Yes.
liked in Future Imperfect, knowing you, I think you're gonna love the end because it's truly very dark, very sad, and truly just goes into the psyche of Bruce and Hulk, and makes you kind of really feel bad for the Hulk because I think what the Immortal Hulk has done really well and what the end has done really well is kind of the idea of Hulk having his own independent feelings from Bruce and the idea of everyone around him constantly hating him. and how that affects Hulk's psyche and how he truly hates everyone that is always hating on him. It's really, really good stuff. It's really sad
Tragic.
stuff. It's really tragic because him just existing gets everyone to hate him, very much like a mutant
Fine.
story. Like it's so sad. It is
Yeah.
so tragic, and I know you'll love that
I'm
story.
excited. Also, one other thing, because I really think anyone that's watching this, I recommend you read this. Only how much was this book to buy?
I think it was like $20 on Amazon, something like that.
Yeah, so
Maybe I got it on
so
eBay or
cheap,
something. Yeah,
so
20 bucks
cheap,
or
and because we don't want to spoil everything that happens in it. Essentially, I mean, we kind of told you guys the ending, but there's
Rick
still a
Jones
lot
was
of
great.
really great Easter eggs and other
Fan
characters that are
service.
original to this. And Rick Jones, I thought he was awesome. He had like, honestly, I would say like the coolest headquarters of like any Marvel character I've ever seen. I
Yeah.
won't spoil it, but it's just an incredible like little moment, and
Full
just
of fan
seeing,
service. It's
yeah,
fun.
it's great fan service, and I just love the kind of the final moments that we see with Rick and Bruce, and it's just like I feel like as a diehard Hulk fan, that relationship always means so much. So kind of seeing it come full circle, and like Rick seeing the evil version and also his real best friend come to the future, and him getting to kind of save the day together, I thought was just so cool. Um, yeah, I'm very excited to read the end because it's like you said, we don't really get a lot of these stories in the movies, so seek them out on your own, and do the research. This one, it took me like maybe like 2 or 3 hours to kind of read it. I picked it up and you know started and stopped, but I thought it was such a great read. What would you give it out of 10?
I loved it. I think it's a 9 out of 10. I think in 2 issues you get so much, uh, like so much lore, so impactful, and you get a character that is so that gets you to just feel things. Whether it's just you think he's despicable, or even maybe you kind of like how much of a piece of shit he is. I think it's just a very fun read. I love the ending, and I think like you were mentioning, especially in the movies, they don't really ever go over the relationship of Rick and Bruce, especially the final few panels of this story are quite heartwarming and sad.
That was great. I
And
loved that. That was so
yeah,
good.
it's really good. And I'm I don't want to say anything else. I just want to say I think if you were to read it, you'll really love it.
I really hope you guys give it a chance. It was such an awesome read.
Yeah.
Um, Thanks for picking that for me to read. It was just I'm slowly but surely understanding your love for the Hulk. You're
Yes,
spreading the
yes.
good word. You're
I
spreading the good
am. That's
word.
my job.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Yeah. So I also give it a 9. I thought it was a great read, very fast, beautiful art. Because when I first opened it, I was kind of surprised by how old it
Old
looked.
it looks.
Yeah, and it was just so dense at the beginning where I'm like, oh, am I gonna enjoy this? It's like they had this like hustle and bustle city, which I believe it's called dystopia, that Maestro is the ruler of. And when I just saw this, I'm like, it's so much on screen, but I bought it. Like once
Uh-huh.
you kind of get over that, like the first couple pages, and you're really into the story, it just carries you, which is a testament to the writing. Like it's just all there. Has great action. There's some really good comedy moments, some really fun one-liners. Um,
I thought my show was actually surprisingly really funny because like the last thing I'll say is like pretty much when Bruce and Maestro are there, they're kind of like palling it out. Like Maestro is essentially trying to convince Hulk. He's like, "Oh, we can be gods together," and he wants them to like, "Oh, see, aren't you loving this? Aren't you loving how everyone's like praising us?" And he's like, "Oh," he's just nudging him. It's like, life is great, man.
yeah,
And clearly, our Bruce is not having it, and Maestro is just like, "Come on, man, just enjoy this with me. I want my
enjoy
wingman
the
with
good
me.
life.
Enjoy the good life with me."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great read. Anything else, Owen, you want to say before we sign off?
I think just read more Hulk stories, read more comic books because I don't think the movies are doing this medium its justice. And I know the next thing we're reading is another quite tragic story from the Ultimate X-Men storyline. It is a single issue with Wolverine and a kid in the Ultimate Universe. Quite heartbreaking. So keep an eye out for that.
Have a
But
great one,
I'm very
guys.
happy you read it. Take it easy,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you for me. This is a great discussion to have. Want to keep doing more and more of these because it's like, if you even don't even have the chance to read it, I hope you at least got like a full kind of discussion and story from this video, and maybe we painted a good enough picture where maybe it would makes you want to read it. you know.
Or even if you did read it and let's say you didn't like it, let us know why you didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine probably for some people it could, I don't know, I guess be
Too
a
edgy.
little, yeah, a little too edgy. But yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Great
Thanks
discussion.
for listening, guys. We'll see
Yeah.
you soon.
Have a great one, guys. See you next time.